Hi guys, this is Lucas Miller, and today I should like to share a fan fiction story I wrote based on the 1993 film Homeward Bound. This was a film I grew up with, and while I still love it as an adult, one thing that always disturbed me was the way Peter lost his temper with his stepfather when he blamed him for the animal's disappearance. I found that scene more disturbing than any of the adventures the animals went through because as a child, I couldn't imagine talking to my parents in that manner without getting punished somehow, since respect for elders was very strongly emphasized in my family. I am grateful that Peter's mother helped him come to an understanding of where he went wrong, but I still would have liked to have seen a 3-minute scene where he apologizes to his stepfather. So, without further ado, The Son Who Was Willing to Learn from Homeward Bound. I hope you enjoy this. When Peter returned home from the police department, he went to the library room. At the top of the shelves was a box with photo albums. He intended to find a picture of Shadow, Sassy, and Chance, convert it to a document on the computer, add some lines, and print it out as a homemade reward poster. As he reached for the box, a piece of paper flew out from underneath. Peter gasped. Apparently someone had saved him the trouble. Below the picture were the following words: Shadow, Sassy, and Chance, a golden retriever, Himalayan cat, and bulldog. Missing April the 6th, 1993. $6,000 reward. Call so-and-so number. Peter, said Laura, entering the room. Do you want me to help you find something? Mom, who made these? Bob did. Why didn't he tell me about them? Laura gave her eldest son a stern look with a mixture of love and disappointment. Maybe it's because of the way you talked to him last night. I think he's afraid to look at you, and he didn't want to get your hopes up. Tears welled up in Peter's eyes. He threw his arms around his mother. Oh, Mom, I miss Shadow. I know you do. I know. That afternoon, Peter found it difficult to focus on his homework. So much had changed in so little time. 2 years ago, his real father, Andrew, died of cancer, and now Robert Seaver had come into the family circle. He remembered how upset his sister and brother, Hope and Jamie, had been when his mother announced her engagement. I don't want him, Hope cried. We don't need another dad. We're fine just the way we are. Oh, honey, I know how you feel, said Laura. There will always be a place in my heart for your father. But I've learned to love again. Can't you do the same? Peter was the eldest, so he tried to be respectful and understanding of his new stepfather. But if he were honest with himself, sometimes he felt the same way. That terrible day when the family learned the animals had run away from a farm while they were on vacation, he lost his temper and blamed Bob Seaver. I don't care what you think! I told you he'd think I abandoned him! You made us come anyway! It's your fault! It's all your fault! He stormed off to his room, slammed the door, and collapsed on the bed in tears. He knew he deserved a whipping, but he didn't care. He had warned Bob of Shadow's codependent nature, and Bob brushed it off, saying he would be too busy chasing all those barnyard animals to have time to miss his owners. Bob didn't know Shadow like Peter did. When the Seavers adopted Chance, the bulldog, there was some noticeable tension there as well, as Shadow and Sassy struggled to get accustomed to his mischievous ways. Shadow ignored them, for the most part, with the occasional low growl, but Sassy swatted Chance's face and hissed at him whenever he tried to roughhouse with her. Peter realized the animals were in the same boat, trying to adjust to this new ingredient in the dynamic. Peter never thought of how difficult the role of a stepfather must be. No matter how hard he tried, Bob could never fill that vacant space. A tear trickled down Peter's cheek when he thought of how deeply he must have wounded Bob. Bob probably thought he had failed his new children and printed those reward posters in an effort to patch things up. What if Shadow, Chance, and Sassy were never found? Would he ever forgive himself for that ill-fated vacation? At some point, one had to stop playing the blame game. Just then, Peter heard Bob coming in from work. He immediately put his pencil down and went to greet him. Bob was coming up the stairs wearing his brown pinstripe suit and carrying a briefcase. Bob, Dad. Bob stopped. This was the first time Peter had ever called him Dad. Peter, what is it? I'm sorry I lost my temper and said those disrespectful things. It wasn't your fault. It just happened. Bob smiled. It's okay, son. We all make mistakes. Would you like to play basketball after I change? Sure. Peter went back to his homework. He still missed Shadow, but he felt just a little bit better. The end.